This is Joe narrating a PowerPoint in Social Studies. It's from the unit on Geography and the World. It's Lesson 1, Early Civilizations, on page 470 in the cap. The book talks about different civilizations from ancient times. The Egyptian civilization on the Nile River with its pyramids and pharaohs. The ancient Sumerian civilization, which is on the Fertile Crescent in present-day Middle East, and the laws called the Code of Hammurabi. Ancient Greek civilization, from which much of Western culture derived the ideas of democracy, in one of the early empires around the Mediterranean. Ancient Rome also had an extensive empire along the Mediterranean. There were North American and South American civilization, for example the Maya in Central America, the Inca in South America, and the Aztecs in Mexico. This map shows a portion of northeast Africa, where current-day Egypt is. The ancient Egyptian civilization, like most early civilizations, developed along the rivers. The rivers were both transportation and also a source of water for agriculture. So people could settle down and build permanent houses when they had a stable source of food. The ancient Egyptian civilization grew up along the Nile and the delta of the Nile along the Mediterranean. Ancient Egyptian art included the coverings for the mummies of kings. This is an example of a death mask from a pharaoh or king from the ancient Egyptian times. This one is from King Tut. This was discovered in the late 19th century and is often put on display. The ancient Egyptians were famous then as well as now for their pyramids. These are huge structures built in the dry climate of Egypt. In the back here in this picture you see the pyramid. In the front you see another famous Egyptian structure called the Sphinx, which is a statue that's half man, half lion. We see remnants of ancient Egyptian culture in our own civilization today. For example, on the left here is the Liberty One with its pyramid-shaped top, and even more so on the Mellon Bank building on the right with its orange glass enclosed pyramid-shaped structure. This is called the Pyramid Club. On our dollar bill you see a pyramid on the back. The next civilization talked about is the Sumerian civilization. This green-shaped area on the map of the Middle East is called the Fertile Crescent because there was enough water to support agriculture, and surrounding it was sandy desert. A small section of this Fertile Crescent down near the Persian Gulf was called Sumeria. In one of the cities in Sumeria is called Ur, that is referenced in the Bible as the city of origin of Abraham in the Old Testament. Greek civilization has left us with many examples of architecture, art, and theater. The ancient Greeks in around 400 BC built the Parthenon, a monument to one of the Greek gods. The remnants of it still remain and are visited often in Athens. Other cultures have adopted some of the Greek architecture. For example, the Philadelphia Museum of Art is in the Greek style. In the upper part of the western wing you see examples of Greek statues. This is the first bank building of the United States. It's down on 3rd Street just below Chestnut. built in a Greek style. And this is the second bank of the United States on Chestnut Street, similarly built in a Greek style. This is Girard College in Fairmount. Again, you see the Greek style. The Fairmount Waterworks just behind the Art Museum is another example. This, by the way, you can visit for free and see how the water system and septic system of Philadelphia was developed. Greek statues often accentuate the physical aspects of the human body as well as the emotions. This statue itself is in the Greek style, but it is in the Vatican in Italy. Another example of Greek art. You could even say that the Rocky statue, famous in Philadelphia, is an example of Greek style. Many Greek plays written 2,500 years ago are still performed every year in different countries. This group is called the Greek chorus in a theatrical play. The Greek Empire extended from Greece as far east as India and south into Egypt. The Greek Empire probably reached its peak around 300 BC. The Greek Empire was replaced by the Roman Empire, which had an extensive land areas around the Mediterranean. The Roman Empire reached its peak in the 3rd century of the Common Era. You see example of Roman numerals on buildings today. Here you see the Pitcairn building on Arch Street with the Roman numerals MDCDI, which spell out 1901. It tells when the building was built. And on the back of our dollar bill, you have Roman or Latin words like Annuit Septis and Novus Ordo Seclorum. Novus Ordo Seclorum means a new world order. There were civilizations in the Americas as well. On this map on the left in orange you see the Aztec Empire in Mexico, and on the right you see the Mayan civilization in Central America and the extent of their civilization. This is a pyramid-like structure called a ziggurat, which was built by the Mayans in Central America. This still stands today. In the time of the Mayan civilization of old, it was probably used in a ceremonial fashion on major festival days. This is the extent of the Inca Empire in South America before the inroads of the Europeans. That's it for the lesson on early civilizations. This is the remnants of the ancient Inca city of Machu Picchu, high up in the mountains of Peru, and it's thought to be about 10,000 years old. That's it.